Venus square Uranus, and Venus as the apex of the Yod, finger of God formation. Venus is at the very end of Leo, that 29th critical anaretic degree, heightening the shadow of Leo and heightening drama. This means the sun in rulership, the moon, and Venus are all in Leo, creating a quadruple dose of Leo energy. The co-presence of the sun, the moon, and Venus, all in Leo, calls us to reflect on the role that relationships have in our lives as a source of emotional safety, security, and comfort. This is an opportunity to observe our connections, the role we play in them, and how they contribute to our overall sense of purpose and identity. Venus, nicknamed the planet of love, 29 degrees, indicates a crisis point, and that we're completing an important relationship that started in the past or one from previous life cycles, as we shift from one mode of perceiving into another. This is compounded by Black Moon Lilith and the South Node in Libra, which soon to be joined by Juno, asteroid of long-term commitments. Black Moon Lilith and South Node in Libra the next 6 months brings major relationship karma on a collective level. I have another video dedicated to that, which I'll link as an in-card and in the description box below for you to check out in your own time for more information. As we learn to come into right relationship within ourselves, balancing the internal yin and yang energies within, we can come into right relationship with others and manifest that relationship of our dreams. This is a quantum leap of sorts, especially in regards to our interpersonal relationships and how we conduct ourselves within those relationships. At that critical anaretic 29th degree, it can be really volatile, can be prone to crisis and sudden reversals, but ones that lead to deep personal transformation. That's why the 29th degree is known as the critical anaretic degree. It carries all the transformative energy of Pluto and Scorpio, and the Tower card in Tarot. A big psychological change leads to deep personal transformation. It may happen internally first for it to manifest physically in your 3D reality. Additionally, Venus, 29 degrees Leo, is conjunct Regulus, the heart of the Leo constellation. Whenever Venus is conjunct Regulus, this can bring unexpected happenings, especially when she's square to Uranus. It can also lead to disappointments, attachments that prove violent, and difficulty in love affairs. For Venus is conjunct Regulus, these disappointments can include anything Venus-related: career, domestic life, and all interpersonal relationships. Watch for lapses of judgment with friends or relationship partners, and disaster due to overattachment. Venus in Leo is extra bold, theatrical, artistic, and larger than life, and she's separating from an exact square to Uranus under this new moon. The exact square happened on August 2nd, just 2 days prior to the new moon. So the energy is still really relevant. This brings shakeups and curveballs to Venus-ruled things. In a nutshell, Venus rules our values, how we invest our time, energy, and money or resources. This can be incredibly chaotic energy, especially when we consider that Venus 29 degrees Leo is the depositor for Uranus, while Uranus is in Taurus. This means that Uranus is square its depositor while it's on demon star Algol, 26 degrees Taurus. I would anticipate seismic activity and a metaphorical or literal volcanic eruption. Venus in Leo square Uranus on Algol can bring changing values and currencies and a feeling for an urge or need for space, variety, freedom, or breathing room within our closest interpersonal relationships. Just after this new moon, Venus enters Virgo, where she's debilitated or weakened. This indicates that we're in for some collective struggles to Venus-ruled things: our values, our resources, our self-confidence, our money, our comforts, our luxuries, food, the work we do to earn money or resources, our health, and our bodies, and our relationships or partnerships. Watch for karma coming in for over-attachment to things and dependencies on others, but especially work, material things, and on instant gratification. Mercury rules Virgo energy, so Venus in Virgo will be very much connected and part of this upcoming Mercury retrograde. Let's dive into that Yod, finger of God formation. We had this exact same Yod, finger of God formation, as part of the Leo new moon 2023. So this energy is absolutely a return to July, August, and September of 2023. The Yod pattern is called the finger of God because Yod bearers, those with a Yod in their natal chart, like myself, incarnated for a unique spiritual assignment, and they are believed to experience an inescapable sense of fate or destiny. They encounter more than one fated event, experience, or person in their life. I have 2 Yod formations in my natal chart. If you're curious, I'll put out an additional video about the Yod finger of God, and I will dive into my own Yod chart pattern to help explain the energy. Let me know in the comment section if you'd like me to put that video out. Some famous examples of Yod bearers include Karl Marx, the artist formerly known as Prince, and Princess Diana. Those who have Yod patterns in their natal charts will notice that when they fall off track, the universe, or God, whatever you deem him to be, redirects them quite quickly. Since we have this Yod as part of the new moon in Leo 2024, this redirection will be felt on a collective level. The Yod pattern is an isosceles triangle. I'll take you back to geometry class. This is a triangle with 2 equal sides, formed from 3 points. The base of the triangle involves a sextile, 60-degree angle between 2 planetary bodies, while the apex, or the point of the triangle, is 150 degrees away in conjunct or quincunx from each of the points of the base. The key to unlocking any Yod pattern is to look at the placements for each of those 3 points in the triangle, and any planets or planetary bodies that may be aspecting them, as is in my chart. At the base of the triangle, we have a long-term supportive sextile between Neptune, 29 degrees Pisces, and Pluto, 0 degrees Aquarius, soon to be 29 degrees Capricorn. This means that the Great Dissolver, Neptune, and the Great Destroyer, Pluto, are working very closely together, supporting one another in the process. These planets have been working in a long-term sextile for quite some time now, since about mid-2022, and the energy, the long-term sextile, actually lasts until 2028. This is a big deal. This is what's supporting a collective evolution as we shift from the Piscean era into the age of Aquarius. This is even cooler when we consider that Uranus, 26 degrees Taurus, is forming a supportive sextile to Neptune, 29 degrees Pisces, and trine Pluto, 0 degrees Aquarius. So they're all working together. I misspoke in my previous series, so I hope you'll forgive me. But after double checking the ephemeris for 2024, Pluto and Neptune will actually be 29 degrees of their respective signs, that critical energetic degree bringing a crisis to the collective, for 2 days in September. September 2nd and September 3rd, coinciding with Labor Day here in the United States. Mark your calendars, we are in for some chaotic and turbulent times. Neptune at the critical energetic degree of Pisces heightens the shadow of mass illusions and deception that we've fallen for the past 2,000 years during the Pisces era, amplifying the polarity between what's true and what's not. You're encouraged to lean into the opposite energy of Virgo, where Mercury and Juno are, and Venus is soon to be just after this new moon. Lean into Virgo for greater discernment between what's true and what isn't. We've already discussed Pluto at the critical 0 degree of Aquarius and 29th degree of Capricorn ad nauseum. I have an entire video dedicated to that, which I'll link here, and we discussed it in depth in the previous double Capricorn full moon June 2024 and July 2024 series, which I will also link. In a nutshell, Pluto on the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius is destroying the corruption and deceit of the shadow capitalist era, where very Capricorn top-down structures and systems of organization and government, big business, etc., profited the wealthy 2% at the expense of the collective, while Pluto in Aquarius is shifting that power back into the hands of the people. We last saw Pluto in Aquarius during the American and French revolutions, which similarly overthrew this grabbing of power and redistributed power back to the people. Quincunxes in conjuncts indicate a major crisis, and they are very challenging positions. With any challenge, just like a square or an opposition, once you balance the energies, there is tremendous power waiting. Venus at the apex of this isosceles triangle indicates that Venus-ruled things, art, creativity, beauty, love, our values, our bodies, the work that we do, our self-confidence, how we invest our time, energy, and money, is the key to this collective awakening. Rewind with me back to the Leo new moon 2023, which featured a conjunction between the Sun, Moon, Black Moon Lilith in Libra, and Venus retrograde in Leo. The 2023 Leo new moon featured a conjunction between the Sun, Moon, Black Moon Lilith, and Venus retrograde in Leo. Summer of 2023 was all about reflecting on the extent of our self-worth and our self-expression. It was about how our self-esteem may or may not directly depend on external sources of validation, especially recognition and attention from others, chasing likes. The 2023 Leo new moon conjunct Black Moon Lilith in Leo served as an invitation to remember, feel, and embody the power of our bodies and the raw, primordial, feminine, or yin energy that lies within each and every one of you watching, whether or not you identify as a feminine. This challenged us to be seen and celebrated without the shame or guilt that holds us back from fully embracing our truest, most authentic selves. 2023 also featured several squares as Venus retrograded through Leo between Venus and Uranus, while Uranus was still in Taurus. And we have this again under the 2024 Leo new moon, with the additional activation of Uranus having recently aligned with Mars, 26 degrees Taurus, on fixed demon star Algol. We are in for a period of heightened change, chaos and unpredictability. The positive of this alignment amplifies the potential for surprising events, sudden shifts, and abrupt personal transformations. Many of you watching and listening may be feeling restless or irritable. You may be craving freedom or novelty, excitement, and a desire to break free from conformity and inauthenticity. Bye-bye, sheep mentality. You may feel compelled to liberate yourself from the confines of your comfort zone, especially if it no longer aligns with your values, aspirations, and inner truth, as your values have likely changed and evolved in some way over the past 2 years. We have a building square between Mars and Jupiter in Gemini and Saturn in Pisces. Saturn forms a loose quincunx to this new moon, which can really put a damper on things, but only if we let it, especially when we consider that Saturn is 18 degrees Pisces. 18 degrees is considered an evil degree in degree astrology, bringing health flare-ups and health issues to the collective. New moon in conjunct Saturn brings a need to visualize and write things down. It has a tremendous connection to our spirituality and our dream world, which may be extra vivid at this time. Mars and Jupiter aligned 16 degrees Gemini forms a square to Saturn, expanding and energizing this challenging square. This will impact 12 to 22 degrees of the mutable signs: Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. On the positive, where Jupiter falls brings abundance, and where Saturn falls can bring great focus and determination. The square between Mars and Jupiter and Saturn, exacting on August 19th, 2024, 17 degrees of their respective signs, the day of the Mercury cazimi and the midway point for Mercury retrograde, is a return to what was seeded back in December of 2020. Whenever these two planets, Jupiter and Saturn, conjoin, and they later square off, the first square that we're seeing on August 19th, 2024, serves as a testing ground from that initial point of conjunction, the Great Saturn-Jupiter conjunction of December 2020. I'll explain. The Great Saturn-Jupiter conjunction of December 2020 occurred around the winter solstice, the beginning of Capricorn season 2020, and it actually featured a triple conjunction between Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, the destroyer, because Pluto was aspected within a 5-degree orb, still within conjunction territory. This conjunction happened at both 29 degrees Capricorn and 0 degrees Aquarius, as you can see on the ephemeris here. From December 15th to December 24th, 2020, as Saturn and Jupiter traveled from the critical 29th anaretic degree of Capricorn together into the critical 0th degree of Aquarius. This was strong, potent energy that brought themes of isolationism, lockdowns, social distancing, and working online, resulting from fear-mongering stemming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. This energy was reactivated recently under the July 21st, 2024 full moon 29 degrees Capricorn, and it will be reactivated again with the moon conjunct Pluto 29 degrees Capricorn 4 more times in our lifetime, the last of which occurs the night of the U.S. presidential election on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. The moon will conjunct Pluto 3 times between now and the U.S. presidential election. On August 18th, 2024, the moon and Pluto align 0 degrees Aquarius, the day before Mercury cazimi. On September 14th, 15th, depending on where you're tuning in from in the world, the moon and Pluto will align 29 degrees Capricorn. On October 11th, 12th, the moon and Pluto align 29 degrees Capricorn. And again, finally, Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, the night of the United States presidential election. Remember how I mentioned back in my Capricorn new moon video and Aquarius new moon videos back in early 2024, in January and February, that 2024 would be a repeat and a revisit to 2020 with some caveats? Now, at that time, we already could see some correlations. We had the same presidential candidates, at least originally, before Biden stepped out of the race. We had the same Super Bowl contenders, and we had the same Super Bowl winners in both 2020 and 2024. The caveats are you, the collective. Despite the astrology, you're reminded that you have willpower. You have the freedom of choice. This time around, the collective will not tolerate desperate attempts at power grabbing or abuses of power, and we won't take them lying down. You are reminded of how much power you have as an individual in informing yourself, casting an informed vote, and where you invest your money. Thank you for watching. If you're still with me, you're a real one. Drop your current most used emoji in the comments. If you took anything away from this video, we ask that you like, comment, share the content, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, we know that you'll enjoy the full playlist and this additional video. Thank you so much, love you, and see you soon.